my mission is not done when it comes to making these videos about the correctional officer hiring process. I'm doing my best with all of these videos I made to help people out get hired on to become correctional officers. Whether you're going through the hiring process right now, you got your start date, you are in the final phases of your interview process, you doing the urinalysis, the physical, you about to go to the academy, man. I'm doing everything in my power to help as many people as I can to get hired on and to become successful in their career, man. That's why I make these videos. You know, I've been doing corrections 14 years now. It's been good to me. You know, being a correctional officer, the good to me, it far outweighs the bad. You know, most days I go in there, I have a good day. You know, I've seen some crazy stuff in my career, but hey, man, that's what you sign up for when you apply for the job. You know, so like I said, man, I'm doing my best. I'm going to keep going. I won't stop until I complete the mission, man. All my people that's finding my channel, you know, you on Google, you interested in becoming a correctional officer, and one of my videos pop up. I got over 100 videos on my correctional officer playlist, all talking about different aspects of corrections. It's a lot of people on here too, man. If you go back on my comments on a lot of my videos, it's a lot of people, man, that got a lot more time than me. You got veteran correctional officer that's been doing corrections 20, 25 years. You got people that are retired correctional officers. So it's a wealth of knowledge, man. They be sharing a lot of knowledge. They be putting stuff in the comments that I may have forgotten to mention. You know, I'm not perfect, but I love it, man. I love when I see people, they hit me up saying they got their start date, they going through, they finally got onto the academy, man. You know, it's like a long time coming. I know that waiting game when you like, are these people going to ever call me back? You like, man, you twiddling your thumbs. You like, man, should I call them again? Should I give it a little more time, man? If you in that process right now where you playing the waiting game, and you going back and forth for HR, you know, just stay patient and remember, man, no news is good news. And you got to remember this too, man. HR, it might be 5 to 10 people working in human resources at a facility that you apply to. They processing hundreds of applications. They got people that's already working in the prison that's going through different processes, like they trying to change their health insurance. They about to retire. They're going out on medical leave. They need to update their retirement. So they got so much stuff they're trying to do. And on top of that, when they hire a new class of officers, they don't just hire you by yourself. They try to bring in a group of people. So you may have 5 to 10 more people, 15 more people in your class. So a lot of times when you waiting for HR to contact you back, they're waiting for everybody to get all their necessary paperwork in so they can go forward with the process and give y'all all a start date. So just stay patient, hang in there, hold on tight, man. Stay busy living your life, man. But I got another correctional officer video right here, man. I call this video my correctional officer formula for success, man. If you remember this stuff that I'm about to say in this video, man, you will have a long, successful, prosperous career with little to no issues, you know, and you will be able to work your entire career, retire, live the good life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the people that be tuning in, that be leaving comments in the comment section that's retired, you got a lot of time, man. You doing corrections. Feel free to drop comments, man, because like I said, I'm trying to help out as many people as I can, man. If you got some wisdom, you got something that helps you get through your career, through your day-to-day, working on the units, man, that you feel to be helpful, by all means, drop that comment, man. We trying to be a source for corrections, man. That's what I'm trying to do with these videos, man. So this is the first thing right here, man, because this is something, man, that always has us in the news for a bad reason. You know, having inappropriate relationships with the inmates. If you remember this, you know, I know it's easier said than done, but if you look at every inmate that you see, whether you a female officer or whether you a male officer working with women inmates, look at every inmate that you see and just imagine in your mind that every one of them got some kind of incurable sexual transmitted disease, man. They got, I don't know, herpes, gonorrhea, man, you know. That should be enough temptation right there, man, to not go down that path, having inappropriate relationships with the inmates. Not to mention, once you get caught, you're going to lose your job. You're going to go to prison. You know, once you are a correctional officer, that inmate is considered a ward. They're under you. They can't consent to sex, man. Get your honey on outside, man. You know, it's 1 billion people that's not incarcerated. You know, you can find somebody out here for you, and you don't have to worry about losing your job, going to prison. That's That's the biggest deterrence for me right there. I don't want to go to prison, so I obey the laws. I do my job. I'm not interested in nothing they have to offer. And this is the next thing too, when it comes to a lot of correctional officers being in the funny pages for accepting bribes from inmates, smuggling in contraband. You got to look at the bigger picture. I broke this down in a few other videos. When people don't think, you don't use logic. Inmate trying to manipulate you. He wants you to bring in some contraband, smuggle in cell phones, cigarettes, vape pens, whatever it is. You got to think like this, man. That money that inmate is offering you, you could have made that money working a couple extra overtime shifts. You feel me? All you got to do is not be lazy. Call the lieutenant or sergeant, man. A lot of institutions these days are short-staffed. They got overtime out the wazoo. At my facility, you could work every day if you want, man. Even your days off. That's how much overtime that is. And with that, you ain't got to worry about losing your job, going to prison, losing your reputation. Your family find out you did something like that. Now you a disgrace. They don't want nothing to do with you. Your wife or husband about to divorce you. So let's not even go over there, man. Let's just do our job to the best of our ability. Be fair, firm, and consistent. If you, like I said, you want some extra money, pick up some overtime shifts, man. The money is there. It's there. When I do my overtime shifts, I pay all my bills. I put 20% in my retirement. It's still so much money left over. When I work overtime, that I'm putting another $1,000 into my outside savings and investment accounts, and I still got money left over. You know how I did it? I just called, put my name on the list for overtime. They called me. I do my 3-4 overtimes a week. Boom. It's so much money to be made, and I ain't risking losing my freedom, having to stand for count with the inmates. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to risk losing my job. That's simple as that, man. This is the next thing, man. Always remember this. Safety and security first, man. You have to always think like that as a correctional officer. That should always be ingrained in your head. Security of the institution and safety for your coworkers and the inmates that you are in charge of. You feel me? If you remember that, you're going to always be good, man. Security. We not trying to let the inmates escape. We not trying to leave doors unlocked, man, that inmates got access to in an unauthorized area. You feel? Stuff like that, man. Safety. We making sure the inmates ain't fighting, trying to stab each other, trying to get high, trying to commit suicide, trying to harm themselves, inflicting harm on themselves, man. Those are the two basics of working as a correctional officer, maintaining the safe, orderly running of the institution. This is the next thing, man. This one comes with dealing with the inmates, man. Respect will take you a long way in your career. You show the inmates respect. You treat them fair, firm, and consistent. Give them what they got coming. Boom, you will have hardly no problems, man. Trust me, man. It ain't about being macho. It's not about being tough. It's not about how much karate, jujitsu, how much weight you can lift. Respect, man. That's going to take you a long way. And mouthpiece. What I mean when I say mouthpiece, your de-escalation skills, your conflict resolution skills. Can you get them to do what you need them to do, man? Just using your mouth, man. Not having to use any physical force, man. You got to have a way with your words and be able to resolve conflict. It's going to be conflicts all the time, man. It might not happen every day, but something's bound to come up. The last couple conflicts I had one where it was a transgender inmate. He just came on the unit. He was moving in with the inmate. The inmate didn't want to cell up with a transgender inmate. I said, okay, let me see what I can do, man. I'll get back with you. I called the counselor. It was another open bed. Boom, I moved the transgender inmate to that cell. Problem solved. Conflict resolution skills right there. You see me, man. I was working a unit, last week, and the inmate said they hadn't been able to go to laundry for like 3 weeks. I was trying to get coordinate with compound to let them go to laundry. They had the yard secure because they had a truck making a delivery. They ended up missing the laundry. I told them, hey, man, it is what it is. They said that y'all will be able to go to laundry tomorrow. And they was like, they was kind of disappointed, but they was like, I appreciate you at least trying. And that's what it was. Conflict resolution skills, man. That's one of the things, too, that helps me, man. I always tell an inmate, if I'm not sure about something, check back with me. I told them inmates, man, come back maybe about 30 minutes. I'm going to call down to the yard officer and see what I can do for you, baby. This is the next thing, man. always leave work at the Sally Port. Don't take work home with you, man. If you had a bad day, a rough day, man, once you get relieved, you flip your shit over, you go through the Sally Port, man, it's over. It's finito, man. It's a new day. It may be tough right now, man, but you got to learn to move past that, man. You got to have thick skin. You got to be resilient. You can't carry the battles of yesterday into today's battles, man. You know, it's going to wear on you. That shit going to wear you down. You know, when I go in there, I could have had a bad day. I could have had words with an inmate. He's still on the unit. You know, we just had a verbal exchange. Once I go back in there, I'm going to see that same inmate. Once I clock in for my shift, you know, yesterday's in the past. You feel me? I got to move past that, man. It's a new day. You, like I said, you got to have thick skin. You have to be able to move forward and be resilient. This is the next thing, man. Never, ever, ever forget policy and procedure, man. Your policy, man, that's what's going to save you when things go wrong. If you stick to the policy and the procedure, you're going to be good in so many instances when things go wrong, you know, because there's so many situations where things go wrong and officers don't stick to the policy. They go out the scope of their job and they end up getting burnt for it, man. They didn't make a round and they lied and said they did make a round. Now an inmate in there hanging, you know, never lie on a document or never lie on an incident report, a round sheet. Don't do none of that, man. You know, if you did it, you did it. If you didn't, man, just don't even go and say you did, man. I've seen so many officers go down that path and it never ended well for them. It never ends good, you know, so stick as close as you can to policy and procedure, man. That's like your Bible. That's like your correctional officer Bible when you're in there. You know that policy, boom, you're golden, man. Because trust me, the inmates, they know the policy and procedure, man. They going to hold you accountable. They know our job better than us. A lot of inmates, man, they've been in the system 10, 20, 30 years. If you're a younger officer coming in, you in your early 20s, some of these inmates probably been doing time longer than you was alive, you know, and they know that policy. Trust me, man. I see some inmates, they real meticulous with it. They real particular. They quick to file a grievance, man. You know, I heard an inmate one time tell me, he said, the pen is mightier than the sword, man. He know how to write them grievances up, call up to the governor or something, man, get investigations started. So, like I said, stick to that policy, man. They got it coming, give it to them. They supposed to have it, give it to them. If not, they know the deal, man. They know they trying to play games, get over on you, man. You know the policy. They ain't going to try that stuff with you, man. This is the next thing right here. You know, do what you have to do to get a combative inmate under control. But once you get them handcuffs on them, them leg restraints, it's over. It's finished right there, man. We just seen an incident up in New York where an inmate died from correctional officer brutality, man. They beat him to death and he was in handcuffs and it was multiple officers. So the situation was under control. He was on the hospital bed, handcuffed. They didn't have the leg restraints on. They could have held him down and put the leg restraints on and it would have been over. You know, I seen the video. I did a video about it not too long ago. They were kicking him, punching him. He ended up dying, man. Them officers are all in the wrong. They're going to go down. They're probably going to get prison time. You know, like I said, if you got an inmate coming at you trying to stab you, he done got a broomstick trying to hit you upside the head. He hopped on you, snuck up on you, trying to choke you out. You got to do what you got to do to get him off of you. You know, you might go out of policy. You know, you may be trying to get him to the ground and you accidentally didn't do it how they taught you at the academy. But hey, man, it's life and death. Some situations, man, you want to be able to go home at the end of the day. You don't want the captain or the warden having to make that phone call to your family saying, unfortunately, such and such officer, he's not going to be coming home. He had an accident and he didn't make it. He was assaulted by an inmate. So like I said, do what you got to do to get them off of you, man. And once you get it under control, your backup ride, y'all got him in cuffs. It's over. That's not the time to be getting in extra legs, trying to punch him because he's in handcuffs, because he punched you. No, man, you got, like I said, you got to have thick skin and you got to use this up here. You got to think. You got to think, man. You feel me? Don't go down that path and end up being under indictment because you used excessive force. This is the next thing, man. Always be observing and listening, especially when you work in these housing units, you work in the block, man. You gotta always, that's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, man. 2 eyes and 1 mouth for a reason. You gotta be looking, man. I'm always looking, I'm always listening. I might not look like I'm listening when inmates having little side conversations over there, but I'll be ear hustling, just trying to see what's going on. If I notice the unit get real quiet, it's just like out of nowhere, then I think something probably going on. Let me just get up and do a random round. It might not even be time to do my round yet. Somebody might be getting assaulted. I see all the inmates. They was just watching the BET Awards or the Super Bowl. Now everybody looking up on the top tier. I'm in the office chilling, and it was loud and stuff. The football game on. Now it got quiet. Hold up, something ain't right, man. Let me just get up, man. Just do a round, man. See what the hell going on. Always be observing and listening and staying vigilant. You feel me? This is the next thing, man. Never get complacent or get too relaxed. Don't never think it's sweet. I know I said in some of my other videos, man, the job is easy. A lot of times, nothing hardly happens. But I don't want you to get in there with that mindset, especially when you're a rookie, you in your first year thinking that everything is sweet. Oh, I'm just going to sit here, make this easy money. No, because when stuff happens, you got to spring into action. Man, inmate might try to commit suicide. Man, I done had inmate fall out, had 3 heart attacks. I'm about to get off. It was an easy day, all day, up until that last 30 minutes. Inmate had a heart attack. I had to do CPR and save his life. Inmate trying to jump off the top tier, man, because he's trying to harm us. Inmates trying to escape. SIS investigation, they raided the whole unit. They didn't tell you nothing about it. They never do, but they just raided the unit. They went to a particular cell, cuffed the inmate, search his cell, trash it. They find a whole bunch of contraband. You got to be willing. You got to get up and you got to keep the other inmates back. You might have to help them search. You might have to clear the unit. They may do a mass shakedown. You got to hurry up and get everybody out the unit, man. Don't never think that everything is sweet. It's a good job. It's a good career, but it could be demanding and shit can go from 0 to 100 quick. You might have a riot break out on the rec yard. Everything going cool. Next thing you know, control get on the walkie-talkies. All available radio units. We got a mass fight on the rec yard. Multiple inmates, multiple weapons involved. Everybody got to run to the rec yard. We might have to get the lieutenant, the SWAT team might get activated. They might have throw grenades, flashbang grenades. If you at a high security penitentiary, y'all may have the gun towers, the officer in the gun tower. That could be you. You may have to fire a warning shot. The inmate still stabbing the inmate. You may have to take that shot and shoot center mass. That's what we train in the academy, man, to protect life, protect the safety of the institution and government property. You're supposed to shoot center aim. So like I said, man, never get complacent. Always stay on alert. Stay vigilant, man. Don't think, man, the inmates are your friends. Don't get just so relaxed where it's like you too comfortable. I'm always on my toes from the time I go and flip my chip, go through the Sally port, to the time my release shows up and I flip my chip back over and walk back out. I'm always on my toes looking, checking doors, I just try to stay alert. I listen. I hear a whole bunch of shouting. I think like this, oh, it might be a fight about to break out, stuff like that, man. That's how you got to think. This is the next thing, man. Stay in your lane and control what you can. I'm big on that. And what I mean by that, don't entertain workplace politics. Don't entertain the toxic culture, the good old boy club, man. Sometimes you get a lot of drama at work and it's not necessarily from the inmates. A lot of it may come from your co-workers. It's a lot of gossip, rumor mills. You got people dating other officers and that officer, they break up. Now they dating a whole nother officer and it just becomes a big fiasco, man. Don't entertain none. I try to stay out the way. I try to fly under the radar. Just put me on my unit I'm assigned to. It'd be me and the inmates. I run my unit how I want, do my hours, make sure everything goes smooth to the best of my ability. And I go home. I leave work at work. I don't have time for the side missions, the drama, the unnecessary petty stuff, the gossip mill, the rumors. I'm not entertaining none of that. And you shouldn't either, man. This is the last thing, man, I'm going to leave y'all with, man. This one's big right here. Never deny an inmate their basic rights and needs, man. You see, inmates, they have a right and they have certain rights once they're incarcerated. They have a right to practice their religion. They have a right to medical treatment. They have a right to, get 3 trays a day. They have a right to certain sanitation conditions, certain things they have to get. That's mandated by law. Once you start getting into that area where you deny an inmate their basic right, their basic liberty, something they're guaranteed by the laws of that state or federal government, man, you gonna go down. I got a couple officers right now, man, that I work with. They got to do prison time. One of them, he denied an inmate medical treatment. You know, he made the call that the inmate didn't need medical treatment when he obviously did. The inmate ended up dying. Now he doing prison time now. Another one, I guess the inmate in the shoe had altercation with the officer, the supervisor. He told the officer to beat the inmate up. That's cruel and unusual punishment, man. You can't do that, man. Don't deny these inmates what they got coming, especially once you get into the big stuff like their medical, the right to practice their religion. You feel me? Their right to get 3 trays a day. Stuff like that, man. You don't want to mess around with that. So if they got it coming, like I said, just give it to them, man. You know, if you don't know, you're not sure, you knew, call the lieutenant, call the sergeant, call another veteran officer. You're not going to be by yourself. You might be alone on the unit that you working, and it's just you and the inmates, but you're going to have other officers working on the unit next door or upstairs that you can call if you're not sure about something. Always call and verify. Inmates come in there, they ask you something and you don't know. You're a rookie officer. Tell them that. Let me check on that and get back with me in a little bit, man. And then make that call. If you got to call the shift supervisor, boom, you got to do what you got to do, man. You don't want to be in the wrong when you're supposed to be, you're supposed to get that, So that's just to save yourself a lot of trouble. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're new to my channel, Correctional Officer Videos, follow me on Instagram, TikTok at the Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. This one of my shirts right here. What that say? It ain't for everybody. Speaking of corrections, I understand this career, this field, it's not for everybody, but it's for somebody. It's a lot of people out here that's trying to get into corrections, and I see y'all's comments. Like I said, I'm going to keep doing these videos and doing everything in my power to help y'all get on, get hired, and become successful in your career. Y'all got any input, thoughts, comments on this video? Make sure you drop a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.